Hi and good morning. Hello. How are you today? Yes, I do love my intro. I have to admit it's really silly. It's something really unnecessary, but I'm having so much fun with it. And sometimes we gotta do the silly things to have fun. uh, yeah, I spent way too many hours on setting everything up, and yet I still only have a parking lot to stand on. I mean, I am slowly working on a Unity version of the Motel. So maybe eventually we can walk through it, even if it's probably going to be in VR chat long before it's going to be on stream. But that is coming. I'm not very good. I, I need help to build models. So this is quite an experience, but I mean, that's how you learn. But yeah, how are you today, Rue? I hope you had a good morning. Oh, I 1 year ago, I can promise you, the first time I launched Unity and I watched all those guides and I watched Cade art and it took me about 5 weeks to even get the basics done to have a VRM. Just to have an avatar going, I had no idea what I was doing. The idea that you have these different Unity versions and they are all not compatible with each other, and sometimes you need those shaders and sometimes you don't, and oh, it was a nightmare. And now I'm making my own VRC avatars and recoloring them like a year later. It's annoying, it's slow, but let me say it like this. I'm over 40. I feel like if I don't challenge myself, then I'm old. So doing Unity was a really good way to just keep the brain active. And I think that's worth a lot. And if I can ever do stuff like, this avatar myself, I'd be happy. But I think those coloring skills are nope. It's like, especially if you look at the awesome job she did with the eyes and stuff. Yeah, that is outside of my ability. But yeah, the VRM stuff, and like I said, I stole the idea of the bow ties from you. I can openly admit that. I'm using it as hats, and I didn't think it would be so annoying to get this ready and blaze hats. So I spent like 2 weeks alone just trying to figure out on how I can streamline that. So now I can put on hats in like 5 minutes. I love it. Learning new things always excites me. And this is an offer for everyone. If you ever need help with, yeah, I know 5 minutes is still long, but I'm very particular about making sure it sits right and it doesn't clip more than necessary. And I suppose a bow tie would not have clipped. Maybe I should have gone with that. Hats on hair and antlers and ears. I cheat half the time and just turn the hair off, but don't tell anyone. But yeah, that's an offer for everyone. If you ever need help with Unity, with OBS, Semi, with anything I can help with, just let me know. I'm always happy to help. This morning I was just battling with Semi myself because it looks like an update just disabled half of it. But it works again. And... or does it work? Yes, it does work. Oh, I was slightly getting worried. Yeah, true, even Final Fantasy turns ears and hairs off and clips tails through. But I'm a perfectionist. I gotta be better than Square Enix, don't you know? Moxie NFTs. Coming. But yeah, today we're going back to our Against the Storm playthrough. It's okay, they're gonna be free NFTs and they will Never do anything. That's the best NFTs, and probably the only ones we'll still get. I know. I just read some news yesterday, and I don't remember who it was who now suddenly says they're coming out with NFTs. Like, seriously? Any company that still invests in NFTs and hasn't done it up to this point is a bit late to the party. I mean, I have to admit, maybe I'm just a bit cranky because at some point I had Bitcoins and I sold them. I don't quite remember how many I had, but I remember if I would have sold them during the peak, I would have been quite a millionaire. I think if I remember the math right, if I would have sold them at the peak, I would have made 1.5 million. I didn't rip me. I made somewhere around 5 grand and bought a stereo with it. I mean, there were many years between these two events, and who knows if I would have lost them or whatever in between, so, you know, but yeah, if my life would have gone differently, I would have had a bit more money. And yeah, NFTs, no. Let's see, what are we gonna do? So we went through the coral forest. That was actually a bit rougher than I anticipated. We couldn't move through the marshlands up here. Or we could... Oh, wait, what is this? Scarlet Orchard. But if I go here... Let me see. Okay, I can reach both question marks. Left or right? I would say let's go right. I don't think we can reach any of the others. We're gonna run out of time, but... Yeah, let's move to here. I think that's a pretty good spot. Into the Royal Woodlands. So, I'm gonna leave it on Pioneer. Because I think that was okay. I'm not ready for Veteran, and I'm definitely not ready for any of the ones above, and I'm unwilling to go down. So here we have a good amount of natural resources. But let's start with wood. And roots, since we most likely don't get roots. Yep, exactly. Let's see, on the top we have... fabric and copper bars. And in the bottom we have 2 more people and grain, skewers. Yeah, I mean, this is the second run on this profile, I suppose you should call it. So I'm not quite ready. I mean, I don't know if you... hold on. Yeah, let me back out of it. Actually, I don't have to. But yeah, you probably see I still have 25 food rations that I can't spend because I'm not even level 2 yet. Turns out, if you skip the tutorial, you also skip a lot of XP that you would have gotten. But that's okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the first because those copper bars and the fabric are gonna be a nice start, and having 8 beavers, I think, is a much better startup. Yeah, let's go with that setup. I think that is okay. Let's see what we get. Okay, positive. In the drizzle seasons, we get dangerous or forbidden clade events you complete will give you 30 random food. But only in the drizzle season. So that is a weird addition to give you. So we gotta make sure that we open clades if we can finish them in the drizzle season. Because that's a lot of food. Oh, and that is nice. So 50% additional chance of collecting resources. I like that. We have the same global resolve from 1 hostility on. Discovering a clade during the storm will decrease global resolve by -10. Rotten rain is infecting farm fields with living matter that feeds on leftover crops. Living matter will spawn on 1 farm field every 70 seconds. And missing even a single meal in this harsh climate can be deadly. If villagers don't have anything to eat during a break, they will gain 2 stacks of the hunger effect. Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. Because food is usually not an issue. And that doesn't sound too bad. So, okay, so we really just... I mean... really just avoid clades during the storm and see that we can finish them during the drizzle season. That is easy to remember. I like that. That's a really interesting bonus. Let's fulfill the completion of getting the camera at just the right angle and then never turn it again. And then the first thing I always do, I don't know why, is I like laying out the basic roads. There. Now let's see, what do we have? Yeah, we have a really nice... Oh. Yeah, we're completely surrounded here. So we can build well into this area. Yeah, this definitely looks less difficult than the last one. I suppose the woodlands aren't as difficult as the coral forest, was that what it was called? But let's see what we get. Okay, right now we only have beavers, so I feel we should definitely focus on that. Nope, we don't need... We do need fabric, but we can make it, and that's just 2 stars. Yeah, I think this is definitely the best. Biscuits and pie. Let's give the beavers a bakery. Brickyard. Weaver or carpenter? Yeah, carpenter. Planks. Planks win. Planks and simple tools. And I don't like this whole farm field thing. You know what? Let's go for a forager's camp. I think we'll use that much better here because we already need it here. So let's put it here for now. Let's put a gatherer here. Let's just make sure. I like farms, but I feel a bit hesitant about this rotten rain thing. So, I mean, I don't think I'll get to Hostility 2 anytime soon, but I feel a bit uncomfortable. It's probably not going to be an issue. Wait, harvester. I do have a harvester. No, I don't. Like I want room for farms. So I'm delaying them and rather go for the harvester right now. Might be a bad idea. I'm probably gonna suffer for that. But now I'll just have to live with that. Wait, was that the... There, woodcutter. That's what I wanted. Let's put one here. And one here. And I think that should do the trick. Actually, let's move that one up. That one over. And that one down. Because now we can also place houses. Without using different spots. There. Let's set that to a high priority. And these two are slightly higher. So we have some shelters. I don't know. It was probably a mistake not picking the farm, to be honest. But it's morning. I just woke up. I should have definitely taken your advice. I regret it. It's okay. I call it extra challenge. Okay, you go give me... Let's just open these right away. Okay, let's see. Cornerstone. Good morning, Avantlaws. How are you today?
Be careful when booping wagon snoots. I've been bit too many times by a Fiesti Moxie.
The Fiesti Moxie. It's the partying one. Good morning, Eternal. How are you today? Yes, Fiesti. I like that. I want to be a Fiesti Moxie. Okay, well-rested workers. If they have the leisure need fulfilled, they have 20% chance of double yield or 3 roots per minute. Oh, the problem is leisure means I need to get a tavern. That is actually... That is a really cute redeem. I mean, it's a bit brutal. Just imagine disappearing and you have a roughly Moxie-shaped Fiesta in the middle. And then people need to redeem points to hit it until it pops. There's something cute about that. I wish I could do that. But that is... Yeah, I think that would be too complicated. But it would be fun. So what would you pick, Rue? Because I'm heavily leaning towards the roots. Because I'm like, I don't even have a tavern. I don't even know, and 20% doesn't feel like, yeah. That's what I thought. I like the roots. It's a nice basic income, especially given I'm like a few minutes into this game. Yeah, I don't even have to pause for that. Because you're gonna love that word. It's let me just switch over. And yes, I finally have the ability to auto clear when I go away. I figured out what I did wrong. I was clearing the wrong field. But here you go. If you ever wanted to know what a kangaroo in German is, enjoy the worst spelling you've probably ever seen of a word. This is brutal, isn't it? I mean, it is literally the same word, literally the same pronunciation. But yeah, it's as Rue says, most languages just use the same word. They just spell it in their own way. Because what does kangaroo actually mean? Isn't that an Aborigine word or something? Yeah, it's an Aboriginal word. Originally, I mean, I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's originally kangaroo. From Queensland in far north. See now, this German course is turning into much more. I like this spelling. I have to put this in. This feels like such a Japanese spelling. I like it. But I still haven't figured out what it actually... Oh, there we go. No, large pot, large foot just is the Latin translation. Okay, I need to look this up. There, myth busting from the South China News, where the word kangaroo really came from. So kangaroo literally means large black kangaroo. That is what they translated it as. Large black kangaroo. I mean, I suppose that gets as close to I don't know as it does, and it might just be, because it looks like that was clearly just a defined word. That's interesting. There we go. But yeah, it's time to open our first tasks. Need for shelter fulfilled on wood or value sold. I mean, this is a much more nice one because, yeah, wildfire essence and simple tools and newcomers. This is like the lazy excuse. And other than being still a bit cold, I feel pretty good. This new streaming schedule is weird because I wake up at 6 a.m., groan and whine until about 6:15, then slowly crawl out of bed, wake Karth so we can do the dog walk, and around 6:30 at some point slowly get out of the house. And then I have to be back at like 6:50 at the latest because at 7 the stream starts. And I was perfectly on time, started semi, and then semi lagged out OBS. I literally pressed start streaming and it took over a minute before the pop-up appeared asking me whether I want to start streaming. That's why I'm 5 minutes late. Just everything was completely lagged out. But now it's good. I have no idea what happened. I don't think I need... Do I need more newcomers right away? I mean, I don't think I need... Clay is nice. But do I want clay or do I want newcomers? Let's go with clay. That's fine, Eternal. Go make breakfast. Get ready. I'll be here when you're back. So 2 clades and rebuild or salvage 1 ruin. Or 2 clade events and building materials. Here we get extra stone, extra clay, and simple tools. Yeah, that is so much better. Oh, thank you for the headbutt. Yeah, I think those are 3 really good missions. So this does confirm that I feel the Coral Forest was just a higher difficulty than this, because this feels a lot easier already right off the start. But let's speed it up a little so we don't spend a whole match, a whole stream day on one match again. I'd like to see if I can get 2 done today. Because I do want to get to that question mark. Okay, there's nothing important in here other than meat. And yeah, I don't have a trapper, so let's put the trapper here. I probably don't have people for it, but that's fine. And we should probably now start the bakery. But I do want to keep that away from the city. Because we do need this room. Oh yeah, right, benches, haha. For once I will actually do this in the beginning. I'm also gonna put a shrine behind and a lizard post. Because they just... I like them. And we put 2 benches here. And... actually, let's make a small bench corner. I like that. Okay, next one. Fertile soil. So there goes our regret for not having a farm. It's okay. I can make up for that, I'm sure. For now, we just follow our expansionism and try to get as much covered as possible. Because we have so many nice blades around here. Just want to expand this a little so we have room to build. Yeah, that sounds good. And let's do the same here. And I was tempted to say enjoy the meeting, but meetings are rarely very enjoyable, so I hope it's not too bad. I feel like the impatience is growing really fast today. That's probably just because I am running at a faster speed. We don't have people to fill any of these spots, but that's okay. Oh. I know that feeling, Rue. That is always difficult. I suppose the best you can do is... Does this even work? Yes, this works. Sorry. Is find something they enjoy and then buy something unique. We actually had that issue with a work colleague many years ago, and they just... Yeah, they had pretty much everything that they ever wanted. We ended up buying a... what was that thing called, Kit? I think you remember the... Oh god, it's so difficult. Art? What about art? Is your husband a furry? I mean, I hope. Because, I mean, art always works. And I would totally surprise anyone I love with free art. I mean, I might have. Because... Yeah, meet my husband. I still feel like every time I trigger this, I need to sleep on the couch for one night. So yeah, I mean, that a personal gift like that is always something adorable, I feel like. And... Fifth... yeah, it depends. I feel like fifth... You could get something together if you if you poke the right artist, or if you go to something like Pfeiffer. No, they actually, I don't know. I don't think they are. You definitely give it a try. You're not getting bonked. And if it's blocked, then just PM it to Kit or me, and we'll post it. Okay, yeah, I didn't think it was. And Valhunt sketches are always welcome here. Oh my god, okay, I do have to show that. Yeah, let me just... Look at those beans. I suppose that also answers the question on whether your husband is a furry and what race. God, yeah, I love Hawaiian shirts. I mean, can I call it a Hawaiian shirt? Is that what this is still defined as? But I always feel like it's just Hawaiian shirts on Rues. I don't know what it is. I love it. Yeah, that is adorable. I love this. I mean, I just have to say, I do love your character in general, because... Oh god, is that what it is? Yes, it is. But yeah, I just have to say, I love your markings. Like, those dots around the wrist always remind me a bit of the typical Aboriginal tattoos. But then switching it up to turn those dots into notes on the cheek, and the color, and oh, I love it. You have a very good character, and I can confirm a very good husband, at least speaking race-wise. But yeah, I didn't even connect it to Rocco's Modern Life. God, that shirt is so memorable, so recognizable. It's ridiculous. Oh, thank you, Gashi. Oh, wow. Ah, you flatter me. Oh, okay, let's see. What do we have? Yes, more tools. Look at these tools. I love this. More clades. Okay, yeah, I definitely have to. Oh my god. Yep, we definitely have to show that off too. Look at that squishy. That is a great plushie. I love it. I actually have a pool toy bunny that I pull out every now and then because I like squeaky toys. I mean, in VR chat. I should probably say in VR chat. I don't have a real pool toy bunny. That would be adorable. Oh yeah, look at that. Dragon Aces? I've never heard of Dragon Aces. I have to look into them. Okay, and for the last one. No, I've never made wine. So let's go with that. I have to admit, like most of my time, I literally just went to the same artist over and over. Let me actually show you real quick. Just takes a second. But yeah, most of my time, Saber-toothed Ermine is my artist, if you've ever heard of her. Just open the right folder. And I literally went to her for, I think, about every single character I've ever had. With like one exception. Just gotta make sure I don't open the not safe for work one. That would be embarrassing on stream. So I'm just paying a bit of extra attention here. But yeah, this was actually my persona for the longest time. Just a very very punky hyena. And that was also my first VTuber model. It's just, it was so far away from where I am today with the quality of this model that at some point I just needed to move on. And yeah, I know that problem, Rue. I know that problem. That problem became very apparent when I started to use those images to fill my home in VRC. Because I suddenly figured out that like most of my art has genitals. So those I couldn't cut. Like that picture was very clearly cut. Those I just had to blur out, but it's weird. Let's do the spread. I think those are pretty even. But I like more tools. And a new cornerstone. This is a very evil. Oh, I see. I was not aware this is actually a thing. So this cornerstone option will disappear if you decide to unpause the game before choosing it. Wow. Because what this does is it destroys all wood I currently have. But it gives me more wood in the future. I I like this because this is really... It's good early on. But we have 315 wood right now, or wood and coal, I suppose. And I can't even check... Well... No, I can't check. Okay. Yeah, we have 300 wood. It's early on, and I like the bonus. But it's like Rue says, you also get wood fast, so is it really a bonus? So what if we just go for the trader? Aw, it's a toughie. Let's go for the trader. I think we get the wood fast enough. Let's see, I have enough people to... No, wait, that should be a lizard. Lizard and meat. Oh my god, it only gets cuter. Yeah, I'm totally gonna share these. Just look at this. Look at this. I have to admit, I know nothing about Pokemon, but I see the Pokeball, so even I can identify that. Yeah, those are very cute beans. I mean, literally. Those are also very cute beans. Look at those squeaky beans. Okay, here we have a small herbalist. And here we have a forager. Let's put 2 people in there. So we can start collecting. And I'm gonna put the human in here because we really don't need a builder right now. We need to expand. So let's also mark this here. So we have a lot of room in this direction. And up here. Oh, there was a beach ball? Oh, yeah, I can see that. That is cute. Yeah, that makes sense. That is cute. Oh, there we go, and there's an event. A small encampment. They want 6 vegetables. No, we're gonna bring them 6 roots instead. And we welcome new people. Right, we can't. Because we need a person for that. Then that will count as our event. And you know what? Let's also place a stone cutter. Because then we also get that one. Oh wait, we didn't even have one for the Clade event. We had one for ruins rebuild. We didn't find ruins yet. Because those are usually in the more dangerous ones. I have a full character sheet coming up from Nova, also known as Tenti. I am so excited. I am excited as heck. It's been in, well, I suppose in production for 2 months now. So I think it should be my turn soon. I mean, I'm glad I don't have to wait a year. That would be a bit much. But yeah, I'm really excited when I get that. Because Tenti Slime, if the name doesn't ring a bell, is for example the artist that did most of Sada's art, including his launch screen. The one with all the cute references to all the Critter Cottage peeps. So yeah, I am really looking forward to that. Should probably still be about a month out. Okay, oh, it's like it just wants to make me suffer for not picking the farm earlier, doesn't it? You know what, at this point, I'm already leaning towards being export focused. Let's be export focused. Let's build a... wait. Here. Oh, where's the trading post? There's the trading post. Let's build our trading post and just accept our fate. Yeah, no worries. Thank you for the lurk. Are we ready to break into a dangerous? We're not really. Not at all. There's one to turn in. And our first trader. So let's see if there's anything we can already sell. Yeah, we can sell these. No, the rest we should keep. Actually, we can easily sell some of that wood. Okay, let's go for 35. There we go. So that covers that. And we also significantly lowered the hostility that way. Okay, blueprints. There, now I can make up for my dumb mistake and get the farm. And do we want... Okay, this would add coal and shirky. This would add shirky and incense. And this would add flour and barrels. Yeah, let's go for the kiln. And the small farm can go up here. And then we'll put the farm fields here. I definitely need more people now. And I should probably start building a few more houses. I think that's one thing I do wish this game had. Timberborn is so really good with that. It shows you how many houses you have left. Like if I want to know, I need to do math. Since these allow 3, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 24. And we currently have 15. Let's add a forager here. And our next 2 quests. Oh, perfect. Look at that. A farm field and crops. Yeah. And value of goods sold, which will increase traders and give us tools and newcomers. Yes, that is... We're gonna have a trader playthrough in this one. That is good. Actually, let's go down here and also pop that one open so we can expand the houses, including down here. Yeah, that looks good. Let's move you back so you can reach all of those. And that just has broccoli and meat. That is perfect. Okay, let's also remove this down here. There. Okay, that was not quite enough farmland, unfortunately. So let's move the woodcutter over here. And free up this area. No, 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 not that one. There, that should help. Okay, more people. Bricks, 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 bricks. Or we can buy clay to make bricks. 20 clay. Now let's go for the bricks. Okay, we do need to make more bricks, so let's make a... That was under manufacturing. A makeshift post. Was it makeshift post? No, makeshift post was the one that makes the goods. We don't need that, but we need the crude workstation. I'm gonna put that over here temporarily. Nah, let's put it up here out of the way, so I don't have to worry about it later. And let's raise the priority on that. We're not using pipes for now. And bricks should be a priority. There we go. So let's shove people in there right away. And then let's see. Oh, a small cache and more meat. Plus this counts as Clade event. And we have enough tools. Ooh. Ooh, what is that? A citadel resource. Heck yeah. I don't know what machinery is used for, but it sounds good. Okay. Yeah, they are working on that stuff. They are expanding. And I do think we're now getting to the point where we can open some of the dangerous ones. But first, every 2 newly completed dangerous or forbidden clade events lower hostility by -50. This is really nice. Yeah, we don't need wood production increase. Let's go with that, especially since we didn't even open any yet. So we didn't lose any of those. That means I'm gonna go ahead and mark this area as well. And I'll just move them closer and let them do their thing. Now what do we want? Do we want to add flour and scrolls? No, we want to add skewers and pigment. Yeah, I think the cookhouse sounds like it will make our lizards happy, and I gotta at least adhere to the stream title and prefer the Limzards. Okay, the harvester. There's nothing to harvest right now, so I'm gonna park you over here and disable. How about you instead go to the forager, so we can speed that up a little. One for the stone cutter here. Remove that again. Welcome back. And I still have your art open in the other screen. It's really distracting. I keep looking at it. It is cute. But yeah, why not? If you can find an artist that can still dish something out in the next 20 days, I think that would be adorable. I mean, I don't mind. You might have to direct message it. But yeah, but I'm definitely curious. There's nothing here we need. That is fine. But yeah, if you ever need... if you ever need more naughty stuff, we actually have an After Dark room on the Discord that has a lot of sexy Limzard man recently. Don't ask. Dalton was very active. No, pool. Pool. Because we're a motel, you know. It's... Yeah, I know. It's such a sexy Limzard man. Okay, what are we gonna sell you? We're gonna sell you more wood, because I have so much wood. Wait, where's my wood? Oh, I don't have a lot of wood because they're using it for planks now. But, oh, Dalton is a sweetheart. Yes, I know it's efficient fuel, but it's also efficient money. Yeah, I mean, I have the feeling you're also part of the not the youngest group anymore, like me, so yeah, in comparison, Dalton is a Critter Cottage baby. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think let's go with that. I always want to sell something, and I think that is okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's weird to see people like Dalton and Eternal and finally figure out that I'm old enough that several people in the Critter Cottage could be my children by age. It is really weird. I don't feel that old. I don't feel like I could be a dad, probably because I was never dad material. Like, every time any of my friends I feel old for the first hour after waking up when everything hurts. But yeah, every time any of my friends announces that they have a baby, I'm like, oh god. Oh. Okay, what do we have here? Just another boring one? Yeah, nothing special. But I think it is time to focus on the dangerous one up here. Actually, let's leave these activated because I want to get that away. What hat? Hats are very difficult. I feel like I keep looking in the wrong direction today. I keep looking not where I think the avatar should be looking, and I keep resetting it and it just doesn't work out. Oh. Wow. No, I am not fit today. I am derping. Look, I mean, a hat works. Oh god, yes. No, that's fine. My brain works in text. I think it's just an... Oh yeah, I should probably move stuff. Before it just go down here. Now it's something that I noticed very recently, that my brain fully works in text mode. So any thought, anything I want to say, it first exists only in text. And then my brain needs to pronounce it. And that is why I mispronounce so many words, because text has no pronunciation. It's really weird. So if I read, I don't know, W had to get him, then my brain immediately recognizes this as I don't know what had to get him, because it works as text, but it doesn't work when pronounced. So yeah, it does annoy me. I always assumed it's just an issue with how I learned English. 90% written. I started role-playing in English when I was like in 2nd grade in Shakespeare English, and English only existed in written form for so many years. What are we gonna do? Oh, 15 harmony decorations? Yes, I do. I am not embarrassed to say that I met my husband on a... I mean, you're old enough, you know what furry muck is, and you probably might have at some point heard of Shangri-La Mush and all the other places that we RP'd in before, you know, video games had graphics. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of furry muck. I feel like if anyone... Oh, that is a way to do it. Nope. I met my husband on a furry BDSM role-playing text-based environment. It's essentially a muck is what a multi-user dungeon is, but for free-form roleplay. Often also translated as multi-user fuck, because that's kind of what it's made for. Let's be honest, it's an ERP platform. Yeah, I never had AOL. I actually had BTX, which, you know, potato at that point. I feel like if we go back far enough, AOL and BTX and Comcast are all the same. They are predecessors of the internet. But yeah, same story. Where are my beavers? Why do you have to make that so dark? My beavers are currently at 5. 26 is a lot. Harmony decorations. I think I can do harmony decorations. That's not that many, right? 15? 15 is a ton. But the production yield is really nice. Let's go with that. Okay, and 2 dangerous and 1 event. Or have 10... Yeah, I don't even... Oh, but that is nice. Planting... Ah, no, it's just planting and harvesting. Yeah, let's go with that one. Yeah, Second Life. I spent a ton of time on Second Life. Not as much as Kit. Kit was more into Second Life than I was. But still. Yeah, tech gifts. No. Tech gifts, I feel like, especially if he's a techie and earns a fair amount of money, it's gonna be really difficult to find something that he doesn't have. It's like, I suppose a suggestion would be if they are into VR or something, to buy them like a face tracker or like additional Vive trackers or something silly like that. But yeah, it's... silent looting of spices. I like the silent looting. Minus 15 hostility. I feel like at this point, the forest is just gonna be our friend. But we really gotta get to these ruins. Oh no, wait. Where did I... No, you were meant to be over here. And let's just... yeah, let's move you over here. And dig south. But to make sure we don't trigger both at once, I'm gonna set this to avoid clades. Yeah. I tried, I had an elliptical for 2 years, and I think I used... let me rephrase it. I had an elliptical and I spent more time building it than using it. Because... and I even bought a nice one, like one with a tablet holder so you can watch something that had like a speaker plug-in. So you didn't even have to wear headphones, you just plugged your tablet in and you would stream and you would watch and it would record all your stuff. And I think I used it an hour because it was just... I'm a video gamer. I get bored. So then I moved on to Beat Saber as fitness and that did the trick. Yeah, for me, it's a bit different because I work in customer support and IT. So I work sitting and I work from home. So I turn to my right, work 9 hours, and then turn to my left and I'm home. And as nice as that sounds, it is so difficult to just come home, to just disconnect and move on. And yeah, 100%. If my review for Beat Saber actually says if I have to listen to $5 bills one more time, I'm gonna off myself. That's what my review for Beat Saber says on Steam. And I stand by that word. If I would hear that song one more time, no. So Beat Saber only worked because custom songs. I had like 1500 custom songs on it. But Beat Saber is just... I don't like Beat Saber. I never liked it. And when Facebook bought it, I didn't like it even less. More. But try Audio Trip. If you have an index... I'm not sure if it's on Oculus. I only have an index. Try Audio Trip. It's a very new game. It feels much, much better than Beat Saber. It's more aligned with synth riders, but it wants you to be fit. Yeah, Vive, then you're perfect. I think you should be able to. I mean, I don't see why not, at least. But it's more physical. It's nicer. It already has like 1700 custom songs, but Audio Trip is, in my opinion, the Beat Saber replacement. It's amazing. I love it. Check it out on Steam. It's they have custom songs in their Discord, and they literally have just a 1.7 gigabyte package or so to download that. But yeah, if you like rhythm games, I love that. I try to have the energy for it. I'll be honest, I half the time don't. Yeah, let's get rid of that. You need nothing, but we get 5 newcomers. Do we? Yeah, and a pack of trade goods. We need the trade goods. That is perfect. Bring us that. And here's a building we can restore. But we don't need this. So I'm gonna dismantle this for pack of crops. Yeah, and we need pack of crops. Look at this. This is a lucky run. Yeah, wood and fabric. That planks and fabric is fine. Wait, is that fine? I don't think it's fine. Yeah, I don't have fabrics. No, I do have fabrics. I don't like how this is grayed out just because it's selected. It always confuses me. But yeah, that is good. And we have a cache that we can also pop open. Traders come quicker, coal and mushrooms. Oh. Let's go with that. I mean, the big benefit is that Audiotrip has a much better default library. They have really good songs in there that I don't mind replaying again and again. So even if you don't do custom songs, it's like Audiotrip is still by far my favorite. Even with all the DLC Synthwriters got that I never purchased, because, surprise, I also don't like Lady Gaga and Skrillex, and I don't even know what the other DLC was for Beat Saber. I just know that not a single one was appealing in any way. Yes, it is. I know. It is, but I'm open to songs. And welcome back, Eternal. It's okay. Sometimes you have to do bad things, and then you can come to the good beans. Oh yeah, someone should work here. And someone should work in the kiln. And someone on the farm. I need more people. Actually, yes, you are right. I should. No, thank you for the head pet and for the reminder. But see, now I'm curious, because I can say the same. I hate music that runs in the charts. I can't. I just know. Yeah, see, that sounds perfect. I'm a huge fan of glitch hop, of I don't want to say EDM, I want to say techno. I'm a big fan of techno. Because techno is fun. Yeah, I know. Glitch hop is... You really only find the stuff that exists. But I'm just such a big fan of glitch style in general. I mean, you can see it on my avatar. It's... Moxie was literally designed as a glitch that escaped a malfunctioning CRT. That was the original idea. Let's break this one open. And while they work on that, we can switch this one to pop this one open. Yeah, techno is like I said, many people go like, oh, just listen to EDM. No, that's not the same. I mean, you're much closer if you listen to, what's it called? There's this one genre that's very close to techno. It was big like 10 years ago, and I always forget what it's called. I don't know why. No, I need to look it up. What was it called? I forgot. Yeah, it's like the old school techno. The background music. Melodic. Exactly. Trance, melodic, anything that doesn't beg for your 100% attention. Like I listen to music because I want my brain to travel. I want to have thoughts. I want to, have ideas. Music helps me to find all of that.
I'm Cute Crash, by the way.
Yes, he is. Hey, Shaky. So, techno is just, it's a good background music. It works.
Space!
Space. These are both shit. I don't like either. But this is a lot of tools if I can accomplish this. Jerky, pie, and skewers. I can make all of them. So let's just try that. And 18 beavers. We have 12 and
Space!
8. So Goa. Thank you. Goa is what I was talking about. You tell me what the difference is between Goa and old school techno. I'm definitely gonna oh my god, even just clicking on that and looking at it, like this standing image, I love it. This is already, I mean, I have to admit, I never saw a picture of you, but this is you, yeah. Wait, that bow tie looks a little bit like your oxygen not included bow tie, with that yellow on the side. But yeah, with the pool toys, that is... I love this already. I do have to take a look at that after the stream. Now I'm really curious. What? Surfing dogs? Oh, I think I can see that, yeah. It does look adorable. Yeah, I definitely have to take a look at that. And with those pool toys, it's such a simple and straightforward scene, and yet it just looks great. But yeah, I have more beavers than lizards, so let's go for the beavers. I'm betraying my stream title. And new people, well, now we need to go for the beavers. Okay, so let's pause here and set this up. Oh, I know that issue, Shaky. We get our Walmart delivery every Wednesday because I don't have a car because I live in Denver. There's no need to have a car, and Walmart delivers it to my fridge for $100 a year. So yeah, cheaper than a car. And we always get our order on Wednesday because I don't stream on Wednesday. And yeah, I love waiting for Walmart. They never arrive on time. Okay, so let's start. We need 15 harmony. These are aesthetics. Yeah, so I really need to build... Is this what I need to do? I need to build... Yep, because I have 2 of 15, because I built 2. So I need to build 12 more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't need to keep them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugh, that is annoying. That is really annoying. I don't like that at all. Okay, the trader arrives as soon as the storm is over in 40 seconds. That is perfect. Let's just go through. We need the ruin that is currently being done. Trade goods. Okay. Do we have something for trade goods? Pack of trade goods. No, we don't. Hey, Melina.
Ring, ring.
Good morning.
Hey, Moxie. This weird package just arrived for you.
Yep. Time to clean the rooftops. There. I can scrub the rooftops. How is your morning going? And Jakey, no comments. The "you have to respond soon" substitute email is, "Hey, they were out of donuts. We bought you ground beef instead." Walmart in a nutshell. Okay, we have this. We need more farm fields, but I don't think. Let me see. We don't have any fields anywhere, unless I missed them. No, I didn't. So that has to wait. We need crops, pack of crops. No, we get that from the... Yep, we get that. We get the harmony. We get the dangerous. So now we just need turkey, pie, and skewers. And we have pie and turkey here. And skewers here. So, okay, we're set up for success, which we need soonish because we're at 9 out of 14. Okay, dangerous clan. Oh, the leaking cauldron. That, yeah, that was the one that is annoying for food but doesn't take anything, so that is great. And I hate to do it, but I think I need to send it to the Citadel. I need a little bit of... God, this is so nice, but yeah, I need to. What do we have here? A lore tablet. Oh. Well, that is the first time I actually found something useful. Let's put that here. And let's see if we have any that... Nope, they all have the fabric, but that's okay. I'm gonna take those two down. That is nice. We still have two... Yeah, no, we're good. But I'm gonna slow it down a little at this point. To make sure we can catch everything. Oh, okay. Let's do the same thing again. Let's sell nearly all the wood. There is no reason for us to hold that. We don't need a second hearth. And let's, you know what, let's buy a few of your resources. Because I don't have any. There, and then let's add a little bit more wood to balance it out. There. Yeah, I think that sounds good. And do you have the in-home delivery or do you have the normal delivery, Jakey? Because I know there are two different ones. The in-home costs an additional $50 a year, but they come with a Walmart van, they are Walmart employees, and they are not allowed to accept tips. So they are fixed wage employees that, you know, don't have to work faster to beat it. But if you do the regular delivery, then it still comes with Instacart here, which, yeah, is a nightmare. That's why we actually switched to the in-home delivery and just exclusively used that. Oh yeah, I should go through the recipes to make sure we now cover everything. Okay, so that one makes both. That is fine. That is a farm field. Why is that not... Ah, yeah, I love in-home. I love it. We literally, on Thursday, always start our order with like one item, like a pack of paper towels or a pack of Pepsi for the next Wednesday. And then during the whole week, just keep adding to that whenever we need anything. So I don't need to write a list. I'm in the kitchen, I notice we're out of tomato sauce, so I just put tomato sauce on the list. And then every Wednesday they come and deliver that to us. And that has become such a convenient way of doing shopping. Do I like that I support Walmart that much? No, not really. But, I mean, should it be Emerson instead? Like, the only alternatives we have here is if I want to order, say, from Kroger. I mean, I can do Whole Foods, which is also Emerson, or I can order from Kroger, which costs a bit more. Yeah, in the end, it's always a question of finances too. And Walmart is cheap. So we have our like $200-300 delivery every week. And it includes everything we need from the red mulch that I put on my patio to the rice we put in our rice cooker. No! I lost my first Limzard. But there's not much I can do because this stuff is still being built. But at least they are now making all the things that make the Limzards happy. And that should be done soon, and that should be done soon, and we have so many things in progress right now. Yeah, Instacart. I will go out of my way to not order from Instacart. I have taken a taxi to a supermarket, went shopping there, and I've taken a taxi back because I was not willing to order from Instacart. I have had really a lot of success with it when we lived back in California. We lived in a small city in Northern California, and Instacart was great. It was always local, like every single one we had was a local woman that always clean cars, always nice and friendly, well communicating. And then we went back to Denver, and everything we got here wouldn't find our house, would sometimes come in a car that literally had trash piled up next to our goods. Just like every time we had Instacart in Denver, it was a nightmare because it feels like Instacart here is what you pick up when the others don't want you. Like, say if Lyft and Uber say your car is not... Oh shit, this one left. Your car is not capable of driving for Lyft and Uber? Well, then you go Instacart and Grubhub. That's kind of what it is. If you walk around our neighborhood, you see so many cars that in other countries wouldn't be street worthy, and then have a Grubhub sticker on the back. It's a really weird thing that happens. And now I can fill these up. And now people are happy again. That is finally done. That is done. Ugh. I mean, I'm glad they got in trouble for that in one country, because let's face it, they don't provide it in any country. They don't care. Now look at that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh? Was that nice? We have 4 blueprints unlocked. Plus a cornerstone. Family gratitude. Relatives send me water skins for treating them well. I'm not treating them well, I'm sorry. And the ancient pact. The cost of knowledge can be very high. You can see the content of undiscovered clades, but discovering dangers of forbidden clades kills one village. Oh, I don't want that. And blueprints, 4 of them. So let's see. What do we have? Yeah, no, Uber. I mean, because I don't have a car, I take Uber regularly. I would prefer to take Lyft, but usually Lyft is like 50% more expensive. So I take the greater evil. And yet every single driver I drive with will always argue about how bad Uber is. The other day, a Tesla Model 3 drove me home. I mean, they are all fleet vehicles at this point. These are not privately owned vehicles. These are people that are just, I'm sorry to use this word, but contract slaves. That's what it feels like. This work is in no way a work. You're essentially an employee working for a company that loans you a car, and then you pay off the car, you pay your own health insurance, you pay your own 401k, you have to take care of your own tires, your fuel, and everything. Like, this is not an employment. I have no better word for it. As much as this word shouldn't be used, I just don't have one. And they all argue, every single one. And I drove Lyft for a year. I'm so glad I got out of that, because hell no. But yeah, let's look at what we have. Yes, we can do a brickyard that adds crystallized dew, which is really, really good for later recipes if we need them, and bricks. Otherwise, we just add things we don't really need. And I don't actually think I do, Shaky. I mean, I've probably heard it, because 2020 we were in California. Were we? No, in 2019. Yeah, I think we moved back to Denver in 2019 because we got the whole COVID in Denver. Oh, that is nice. Much better jerky. Or... oh, the improved trapper's camp. Or better planks. No, let's go with the trapper's camp, because I think we have some we can use it on. And last but not least, clothier. Because we have neither coats, water skins, nor scrolls. Yeah. Oh. Okay, last but not least. Planks or brewery. Let's take the brewery. Okay, so let's catch up. We have a trapper now. And a really nice one too. So we can move you up here. Yeah, not quite for all of them, but for this group. Oh, don't worry. No one here needs to pay attention to my stream. I love you all. If you just say hi now and then, that is already the best thing. I'm just happy to be here. Period. I'm weird, I know. But yeah, I do remember that. Bonk. Oh, that is fine. I'm not even sure I'm listening to the game. But yeah, it's like I said, no comments. Uber and Lyft, they are miserable, and having worked for Lime in some point in my life, I worked in a management position externally through a vendor at Lime, which is the scooter company. If you don't actually know who Lime is, they are the ones that plaster these annoying electric scooters all over your city that you just want to throw into the trash. That's Lime. Yes. I can tell you what I did there. I think that is okay because I handled insurance cases. So if you drove a scooter onto the interstate and then ran right into a car, it probably got to my team. Or if, say, you know, the scooter suddenly broke in the middle of the drive and at 25 miles an hour you flew over the handle and ripped your jaw off, then that got to my team and I could look at those pictures and then deal with the insurance. And so I had a lot of fun there, learning why no one should ever use these scooters. There is nothing that anyone should do with these scooters other than just ignore them. They are dangerous, they are deadly, they have been deadly in many cases. I mean, it's no secret that Lime had, best example, they had a firmware update at some point that gave the scooters a chance to just, if they lose network connectivity, lock the brakes while driving. So you had people with 25 miles an hour not wearing a helmet, and then the scooter was like, oh, wait, I shouldn't drive, and poof. Yeah, and that sent those people flying. You know what happens if you have a scooter with 25 miles per hour driving through live traffic that suddenly brakes? Anyone who ever had a bicycle accident knows. Yeah, that was another one of those Uber-like jobs where if, I should probably, yeah, I mean, the app asks, are you 18? And if you say yes, have you ever gone to a porn site as a teenager and then looked at the are you 18 and you went like, oh, no? Because that's how it went for those scooters. I mean, okay, yes, you're breaking the law. Do you think teenagers care? Now, I could tell you so many interesting stories from how thousands of the scooters were harvested by, homeless people, because the batteries that you can pull out of them actually sell on the black market for like $50 a piece, because they're really good batteries. So you had issues with homeless people just stealing hundreds of scooters across the city, ripping the batteries out and then dropping the scooters into the river. So there are last known locations of scooters in the thousands in the Los Angeles Bay. I wish I was kidding. It's and yeah, they let kids do that. They it was a nightmare. I mean, I can tell that because all of that is public knowledge nowadays. It's not like you don't look up. You just Google homeless battery scooter and you will find posts from like the Wall Street Journal talking about that. Okay, but I do need to probably focus on the game a little because I feel like I'm not. Let's go through our recipes and make sure. Yeah, let's add the copper ore for the pigment. I don't need the copper ore for anything else. We need farm fields. I can't find farm fields. I still think I have none, so I gotta break into more territory. So let's speed this one up. And let's start one down here too. Yeah, let's get you down here. And dig down here. But once again, let's leave you on a void clade so we don't trigger two at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much they pay nowadays, but I remember back then it was like $7 a charge. And for those $7, you have to get into your car, drive through the city, pick up a scooter, put it in the back of your car, drive home, unload it, put it on a charger that you had to purchase because you only get like 2 of them for free. And then 7 hours later, because you only have like a max of, what was it, 12 hours? You have to put it back in the car, you have to put it back out on the street for $7 a piece. It's great if you have a transporter and you can load 20 of them, which they won't even let you do. They only let you pick up 8 in the beginning. But yeah, if you don't... I remember... Let me see if I can find that. Because I remember there was this really entertaining image of... let me see if I find it. Nope, I can't. Has it really been that long? But there were issues with people literally picking up 100 of them and putting them, say, in a convertible, and then driving through the city, endangering traffic. And I can't find... That was an amazing picture. I just can't find it anymore. Of a guy that literally had 100 of them in his convertible. And they were just poking out of every corner. Oh, yep, there it is. Electric scooters, boon or bane? Come on, let me open that picture. There we go. This took way longer than it should have, but... this. And this was a perfect example of the shit that was happening during that time. That he just had people... I mean, yeah, if you get $7 per, then that is a buttload. But I'm not gonna drive through the city like that. No, it's a weird time we live in, having essentially these self-employments in every direction. I mean, look at full-time streamers, look at people like Whiskey Dingo. I don't think Whiskey Dingo still has a normal day job. He's just a community ambassador and Twitch streamer and, well, furry, full-time furry. It's, if you think back to 10 or 15 years, this would have been unimaginable. And I do love the fact that we now live in a time where this is a thing. Now, let's pick this one. Yeah, I know. Screw us furries. No. Oof, yeah, Avantlaw, stop it. Don't make me blush. You have that issue too, Rue. Packages. Yeah, I know. We should be way more... We should just keep arguing at other communities and how bad they are. We should have like a one-off against football fans or something. We're just way too peaceful and held back in most cases, except in Denver. Because we have our Nazi furs. If you don't know the story about Denver's Nazi furs, we had a furry convention in 2017 or so that was actually cancelled because the Nazi furs were planning to cause trouble. It's just... I feel like this is the one thing that makes no sense. How can you be a furry? A member of a culture that is so open about their genders, their sexuality, their everything. And yeah, and then you have a group that is just so dumb. I mean, I really don't want to get politics into my chat, but I'm sorry. Nazis are dumb. There is no politics involved in that. There is no politics involved in racism. I don't care whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. You can be either and cannot be a racist. Yes, I grew up as a German in Germany during the 90s and 2000s. And I saw the resurgence. You know, in elementary, we learned how bad World War II is. And then in 5th and 6th grade, I saw the slow resurgence. And then in 10th grade, we burned down refugee centers in Germany because, I don't know. That's just what they did. And it wasn't far after that I literally escaped Germany because there were so many things I didn't want to deal with anymore there. And the racism was part of it. It was getting to a point, I married a guy in Germany that was not a German. And for that alone, I was assaulted at work. It's just, yeah, I don't judge you for leaving Texas. It's knowing people who live in Texas, if you don't live in the big cities, it sometimes gets uncomfortable. I agree. It feels like a story not stream worthy, not chat worthy. I feel like it's something that we should just ignore exists and move on, because it shouldn't. And yeah, if there's one person that knows where racism and Nazis lead, I actually remember working with a person at Siemens Nixdorf actually it was Siemens Nokia back then. Oh, thank you, Avant Laws. We were making essentially equipment for mobile phone towers. And really nice punk girl, like really open and friendly, and we had a lot of friendly chats. And one day she asked me if I could hand out some flyers in my neighborhood because she wants to support a good cause. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And she hands me the flyer, and it was a flyer that was so openly racist and was supportive of a party in Germany called the Republicans. Not anything compared to the US Republicans, but literally a hardcore right-wing party. A party that was fighting for jobs for Germans, for no immigration rights, no follow rights, like literally all the right-wing extremist bullshit you can squeeze in. And not in any political sense, just pure in a racist sense. I think that was the first time I figured out that the racism is really so predominant. And yeah, a year later I left. Yeah, no, it's not better here, but at least here it's openly accepted that people are that way, and you are aware of it. And it feels like in Germany, this came as such a shock to me that it just... Yeah. Let's sell some resin. I feel like this got way too dark into a territory that I don't even want on stream, but I did that myself. So I apologize. Let's move on. Let's just sell a little bit, because I like selling a little bit every time a trader comes. Makes them happy, right? But yeah. Let's just talk about positivity. Oh, you already know about this game. This is Against the Storm. Oh, hold on, let me check. We have a medium abandoned cache, a large encampment, and an ancient shrine. Yeah, let's take care of that. Oof. Because if we don't do this in 5 minutes, in 8 minutes, 5 people die. So let's do this ASAP. But yeah, this is Against the Storm, the roguelite city settlement builder. So essentially, hey Darius, good morning, how are you? So essentially, if you look at these 2 bars down here, the right is the Queen's Impatience. If this reaches the max, then I'm no longer a Viceroy. And the left is my reputation. If that reaches max, we win the level and move on. And in best rogue-like light manner, we get our choices to make on how we move our game on. Oh, so this is annoying. We can get either an ancient tablet, which are really nice to have and worth a lot of money for each dangerous clade, retroactively, or 35% more wood, which we can also sell, and it's nice clearing the wood. Now let's go for the hidden. And we can turn the beaver maturity in. That always lowers the impatience and raises the reputation. And now I just need to make sure that they have jerky and pie. So let's prioritize jerky. Let's prioritize pie. Yeah, I love this game. This game is so relaxing. And I love the way it works, because for each event, for each little special thing you unlock, you get these bonuses. And these bonuses just help you do a better settlement. Like small things. For example, all my beavers are happier by default. Or, you know, the forest is giving me 30 random food every time I finish an event, which are these here. Let me actually see where we are. Yep, that one can now break through, so we can trigger the next event. And let's speed it up again. Oh, I should also desperately build houses. So let's add a few here, here, here. Because we currently have way too many. My worst experience with... Oh no, wait, there was an Instacart. There was actually Grubhub. I once ordered a Grubhub delivery. And Grubhub has this nice tracker as well, where you can see exactly where the person is and... You know the deal. And I saw them drive to the restaurant. They were at the restaurant for 5 minutes. And then they drive off, and they drive north, and they drive away from where I live, and they drive to a house, and then they stay at that house for 45 minutes. And then they leave, drive to my house, and deliver cold food. And I remember reaching out to Grubhub on that day, and they actually rejected the refund. So I did a chargeback. My bank agreed, and I never ordered Grubhub again. Until we were in Denver and we literally just ordered ice cream for the dogs. Hallowed Herb Garden. No, not herb. I know that. No, I don't... Ah, shit, but that is... Yeah, those are fields. Okay, let's rebuild that. Yes. The hallowed herb garden. How can it be hallowed herb? Or haunted herb? No. I hate this. Either it's haunted herb or haunted herb. Oh, English. Hallowed. Fallen beaver traders. A group of fallen beaver traders. They were probably assaulted by fishmen or worse. The sight causes anxiety amongst the beaver population. Yeah, let's take care of that right away. Let's bury them. Let's pick the one where we get the tools. And you know what? Let's lizard man bury the beavers. And nice, here's a cache. For faster traders, reeds, and No, we don't need either. Let's get more amber. I don't know what the haunted herb is. And I don't know why it would be haunted. I don't what the happy herb is. Okay. Yeah, let's do this too. Oh, do we want that many more people? Not really, no. I'm gonna send them to the Citadel. Guess that's too many. Oh, you don't? I thought most states along the coast have it by now. I mean, I always assumed that you're probably like New England or Florida somewhere. I think you mentioned it at some point and I forgot. Wasn't it Florida? Oh, I just suck with geography. That's my main issue. It's like I can tell you where Florida and California are. Wait, Florida does not have legal pot? When oh yeah, only when a person has obtained a medical marijuana use authorization. So really only for caregiver and treatment centers. Wow, that's weird to think that. I feel like Florida would be relatively fast with it. Well, I suppose Florida man did not get high. That's weird because in Germany, when I still lived there, which was about 15 years ago, it's a bit more relaxed now. But when I left, in Germany, weed was equal to cocaine. So if you're caught with 2 grams of weed, it would actually be a prison sentence. Despite the fact that weed consumption was just as common there as it is, well, in any other place that exists. And yeah, I actually knew the son of the police chief of our city who extensively used weed, and I once asked him what he would do if his dad find out. He said he would probably kill himself. And I'm not even sure he was joking. Like that was a very frightening answer. So yeah, no thank you. That is why I never tried it until I was actually in the States. Oh, I don't think it really matters, does it? Let's upgrade that. Because we're already so close to finishing it anyway. I just need to make more pies. Why am I not making pies? Because I don't have flour. Why do I not have flour? Because I have nothing that produces it. That was a dumb question, wasn't it? Oh wait, can I use... Yeah, I can't for this. I need flour. Wait, do I not have anything to produce? No, I don't have anything to produce flour. Shush! I'm new to this game. I didn't think flour was important. Oh. Shush. I'm good. Look at this. I'm just gonna make everyone happy in other ways. What do you need? You need more vegetables. And what do you need? You need incense. I don't have incense. You were meant to use blanks. Yeah, I know, I'm not that good with... Yes, by feeding them in other ways, Eternal. Get your mind out of the gutter, you fox. Oh, right, but I can turn this into a farm, which I should have, because that will finish that part. And if I can just get a trader to... Hey, Dalton. Yes, I totally didn't see you come in, actually. And yes, I do need a rain mill. Air fryer. I wouldn't want to live without it. I am a huge fan of air fryers. Actually, speaking of, let me double check where mine is. Is it out for delivery? Yes, it is. Because we had an air fryer that we purchased in 2019, a Kosori air fryer that just reached a 3-year mark, and Emerson just informed me that there's a callback for that one, because it randomly catches on fire. So, well, we just had to send in a picture of our air fryer with a cut cord to get a brand new air fryer, and that is coming today. And I am weirdly excited about that I get a brand new air fryer without having to clean it myself. I love air fryers. To me, air fryers are some of the best things you can get. If you don't have one, get one. You know what, I have so much money. I'm just gonna buy food for them. Since I can't buy flour. Let's see. What if I buy all of that? Yeah, even that is easy. See, let's sell most of the wood and throw some. Yeah, throw these in. Everything. Roux? Everything. Most commonly simple things, fries, mozzarella sticks, anything that you would either deep fry or spend an eternity in an oven. I can sell 15 of these. I actually bought a bread baking bin for it and inlays. So anything. You want to make meat? You want to make... Yeah, kind of like that. It's a Kosori. I don't actually remember which one, but if you go to Amazon and you look up Kosori, air fryers, they are around the $200 mark and highly rated. And yeah, 15 minutes for fries, 10 minutes for mozzarella sticks. Sometimes I put bread inside. So what I do is I preheat them. Then I put bread inside to give it a few minutes, or like literally just 30 seconds. Then I turn the air fryer off, put cheese on top, and close it. Don't turn it on. Because if you put stuff like shredded cheese on top and you turn it on, it will blow it everywhere. But if you just turn it off, there is so much residual heat that you get a really nice, quick, melted cheese one. Let me look that one up. Instant Vortex, because I had a... Yeah, that looks like a perfect one, because I had a... Was it a Cuisinart? It was... No, it wasn't. It was a really old one that still had the little rotating thing in the middle. So it had a little rotating dial that just kept rotating, and it would crush your fries. But... yeah, the Kosori, now I get a brand new one. Love it. The first thing I'm gonna make today is fries, because I haven't had fries in 2 weeks because of that cut cord.
Come, Dalton.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 9 cord. Let me actually double check what mine is. Just so I don't say something wrong. Oh, it was sorry, was it? Yeah, it was. Oh, I can't even tell what it is because that product is no longer available. But it was, yeah, mine had 6 quarts. And 6 is enough to make a good amount for 2 people. Like, wait, did the cum not work or did I not hear it?
Come, Dalton.
Okay, I must not have heard it. Yeah, 9, you can make a ton in 9 quarts. Like I said, mine is 6 and I can make enough rice for 2 people. Yeah, I know, that's a good voice emote, isn't it? I love it. Very simple. It was from a co-stream of Dalton and Eternal, where Eternal was asking Dalton to get a move on while Dalton was stretching. But the timing...
Come, Dalton.
The timing is impeccable. I don't know. It's like, I'll be honest with you. Other Critter Cottage streams have a lot of voice emotes, and to me, it's often a bit much. To me, it feels disruptive. Like, I really love game soundtracks. I love chill music, and I feel like if I would have as many as, say, Harbus or Seda have, yeah, it would overwhelm me, and I think it would annoy me. So I think I'm probably gonna keep it around a handful, or like add them to redeems instead. Like, I don't want to have a bit redeem. I don't want to ask people to pay money to do something with me, to do something with the stream that doesn't feel right. I feel weird enough that people can subscribe and that people are, you know, want to pay money, and I will just trim it down to being supportive or not wanting to see ads, because I don't know. But charging bits to use things, I wouldn't feel right doing that. And as long as you don't, you have no limit on how many voice emotes people can use. So yeah, double-edged sword. Answer me one question. Is there any reason to keep ancient tablets? Because my understanding is that these are not a currency. This is a currency. The machinery, but ancient tablets, as far as I know, are only there for the orders. And if I don't need it, is there any reason not to sell them? Yeah, that's what I meant. As far as I know, they are literally only a goal. So no reason not to sell them. So let's do that. Whoop, whoop. God, look at this. I'm back to 0 hostility because of the benefits I get from trading. I love this. And we can turn the farms in. And now we just need to either make everyone happy long enough that we get to the max, or hope that the next trader brings flour. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect anyone is gonna die, so I'm just gonna pick the crane bags. Yeah, that was me yesterday. You heard me yesterday morning. I was dead, and I actually went to bed shortly after the stream and slept like another 5 hours. Oh, do I want bricks or stone? And doesn't really matter. I don't think I need either. Yeah, and then I slept, and I was still tired throughout work. Went to bed at midnight, thinking the morning is gonna be a nightmare. I woke up, it took me 15 minutes to get out of bed, and now I feel perfect. And I think it actually has something to do with me having fixed my pillow yesterday, I had the feeling that my pillow was not, well, stuffed enough, and my head was laying too low, and I just put more stuffing in my pillow. And I had an amazing night. It's like weird how much that changed. But then I'm that kind of person that spends not a single cent on a good pillow or mattress, but will instead go out and buy video games for $50. Because why not? Nah, let's not accept those. What I'm gonna do, however... Cooked and raw food, pottery and tools. Does he bring flour? Can Sork bring flour? I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna call him. Because if he can bring flour and I can fulfill this, I'm done anyway. Even if that gives impatience, I don't need that. Yeah, I'll be honest, even if you folks don't have an air fryer yet, you're gonna fall in love with it one way or another. Whether you currently deep fry things, you'll love not having to deep fry. Or, yeah, let's go do a forbidden. Come on, let's risk it. Yeah, it's I feel like an air fryer is just, it's a win-win. Yeah, especially if you don't have a deep fryer. Then 100%, you're gonna love it. Make sure you have some mozzarella sticks at home or something. Because, in my opinion, mozzarella... Oh, there are the Borks. Hi, Borks. Yes. Deep Bork. Oh. I think one of them woke up and then scared the other. But yes, mozzarella sticks especially. Oh yes, flour. They just become so perfect. The only thing you gotta be really careful about is overdoing it. There's a lot of heat involved, and it's fast. So it's quite possible you close it because you think it needs another minute, and then you open it and it's done. So yeah, don't let it last longer than a minute or two over. But look at this, we have meat and eggs, and I'm just gonna get all the things because all of this should make them happy. Let me just see if we have enough to sell that. Yep, we can sell the pigment, we don't need that. Let's sell blanks. Half the vegetables. And then let's just cut down on some things to make it a bit cheaper. As long as we get all the flour. And there, that works perfectly. Now, this should... The pie is preferred. Wait, the pie is here? No, the pie is here. Yeah, the pie is preferred. And they have jerky, so this should finish our run. Let's just speed it up. I mean, it shouldn't be that difficult, especially if it comes in... I need a hiss. You need to record a good hiss for me. But I feel like, especially if it comes in an Amazon box, I would just not unpack it and just... I don't know if you have an attic or a basement. Just put the box somewhere and type old clothes on it. Actually, every time we move, we have this running gag of just writing crap on our moving crates of what is inside. It's like last time we had 5 or 6 boxes that just said sex toys box 1 out of 6, sex toys box 2 out of 6. I can tell you that the movers are always having a blast when that happens. There we go. And I am level 2. So level 2 means I get Essential Buildings, Rain Collector for my rain engines, Paved Road, the second level Herbalist Camp, a Meat Specialization, increases +1 for every 25 times it's produced. Nice. Flame Amulets, a new cornerstone. An artifact infused with the power of the Holy Flame. Hostility from woodworkers is decreased by 6. And another cornerstone. All houses have room for 1 more villager. Those are nice upgrades. We also completed a whole bunch of deeds, but we're gonna look at that outside of here. Nice, that was a good run. Yeah, that does sound like Seda. Seda. And the actual sex toys were well hidden. But yeah, just fried bullshit on it. I think one of them actually said used underwear, just for the laws of it. I think I wrote that on a bag, on a box that was not mine. Oh yeah, I do remember that. I mean, your Awu is on his stream. But yeah, let's take a look at the Smoldering City, because we're now level 2. And we will be much more shortly, because we have a whole bunch of deeds to turn in. So we discovered 10 clades. We won a game in the Royal Woodlands biome and on settler difficulty or higher. We completed 10 orders and are now level 3. Let's see, that means we now get a temple. That's where they can fulfill religion education. Very nice. A scribe produces scrolls, ale, and simple tools. A mine for coal and ore veins. And a new trader. Metal, fuel, tools, building materials, and a number of blueprints and perks. Yeah, that's a nice one. Plus a cornerstone, rich clades. Newly discovered resource nodes have more charges, +5 and +20. And a cornerstone, some woodworkers just can't stop working, gain 3 barrels for every 10 planks produced. Very nice. But we're not done. We traded goods worth 50 amber. Are we getting to level 3? I think clearly. We won a game after completing 5 clade events. We won a game on Pioneer difficulty or higher. Which means we now have pipes as an essential building. Wait. Oh no, that's a comfort. So these are just pipes that are placed over ground for appearance. Weird choice. Trade goods worth 200 amber. Win a game with at least 40 villages. Gives us a lamp for aesthetics. And no deaths. And that brought us to level 3. Wait, 4. Yeah, level 4. So now we have a guild house. A place where villagers can fulfill their need for luxury. Luxury. A clan hall for brawling and religion. That is really nice, because now I don't have to rely on the tavern that I never get. A cellar that produces wine and pickled goods and jerky. Plus a metal delivery line cornerstone, so we get 2 copper bars per minute. A rebellious spirit cornerstone. +1 global resolve for every 2 impatience points. And a safe haven cornerstone. -42 hostility for every hearth upgraded to level 2. Oh my god, we're still not done. Look at... Wait, are those... Those are not... Yeah, those are not fulfilled. Those were the last fulfilled ones. Yeah, we do have a lot to go here. Win a game with all 3 skeletons reconstructed in the Scarlet Orchard. Sounds interesting. But we have 2 machinery. I don't think we use machinery for anything until we are up here. And 55 food stockpiles. So now we can really move up. Yeah, let's see. What do we have up here? I'm kind of curious. Let's just go through all of them. And I do imagine now how you engrave hisses on other snoodles. Okay. +3 bonus to trader arrival. Allows you to establish trade routes with other nearby settlements. Ooh. Ooh, that sounds interesting. +2 to production speed. And you can... Fundamental upgrade. Does it mean it's just always neighborhood level without having to build the benches? I think that's what it means. Then we've got an embarkation bonus of... Oh, 1 extra embarkation point, so we can take more with us. Then here we have +10 to Citadel resources. Advanced controls for what is being consumed. And an additional blueprint option. Very, very nice. This sounds like a good line to follow. Here we have burning duration plus stone and clay. An additional cornerstone. And over here we have...
What do snakes do when they get angry? They throw hissy fits. Kappa, I'm sorry, but I found that pretty hysterical.
Oh, Eternal. Oh, Eternal, what are we gonna do with you? Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with you. Okay, so that's just embarkation bonuses. So yeah, let's do this line first. So first, 10% more resources. Then we can control what they eat. And we have an extra blueprint. Yeah. So what are you? Okay, so I can't directly pick it. But... Wait, is this? No, this... Yeah, this is over here. It's weird because I feel like these question marks should be 3-dimensional and should be floating above. So... Oh no. Yeah, we can definitely do the longest word, because Jakey definitely knows what that is, don't you? Funny thing, I just have to enter 3 letters on Google to get the word, because no, I'm not typing it. So what do you think is the longest word? Wanna give it a try? Wanna see how far you get? Because I just typed it out. I'll tell you what it is, and I have to take a deep breath for that. It's the Rinderkennzeichnungs- und Rindfleisch-Etikettierungs-Überwachungsaufgabenübertragungsgesetz. Yes, and even that doesn't even fit on here. I still have to break this apart more. Wait, no, that was... You are meant to be a dash. I just slipped. Oh, that's there. this you really torture me with this. Getting this onto one blackboard is impressive. And this is a legit German word. I'm gonna put it in chat here just so you get a little bit of a feeling of it. And the Rindfleisch-Etikettierungsüberwachungsaufgabenübertragungsgesetz. Well, you see, that one, Shaky, is a joke, because that doesn't actually exist. It's a joke that we did as kids because it's the longest word we could come up with, but it doesn't actually exist. However, the one I have on the blackboard here is a law. It's literally a law that exists in the German law book. Jokingly considered one of the dumbest laws we've ever made, just because of the name. And I'm gonna just copy Wikipedia's translation of it because it is perfect. It's the Cattle Marking and Beef Labeling Supervision Duties Delegation Law. So it's the law that controls that the state, not the federal government, is in charge of marking cattle and labeling beef. But because of how German works, you can turn it into one single word. And still an active law up to this day. Though they did slightly change the spelling because it was just too long, so they split it apart and instead now call it the law to transfer the... yes, we are. I was not aware that German are crazy is blacklisted on Twitch. But yeah, essentially now it means it's the law to transfer the delegation. To transfer the delegation for supervising and labeling beef and cow. So yeah, it's a beautiful word, isn't it? I love it. It's such an example of German. Now, my auto mod settings are pretty low, I thought. But I might have to look at it. No, thank you for the hit pit. But yeah, I mean, Germans are crazy. I'm not gonna say no. So, I think we're gonna move to here. I mean, we're not gonna finish this run today. Actually, how much time do we have? Oh, we're well on time. This was a really nice and fast run. So we might be easily able to squeeze 4 in, maybe even a 5th if we hurry up. But yeah, I think this is a really nice spot to settle in, because we get the ruins. The chance of finding ruins and clades is much higher. Nice. And the gift of the woodlands. Very lush and rich trees give more wood. Nice. Yeah, I think that looks good. We're gonna stick to Pioneer. I'm not quite willing to raise it to Veteran. Oh. And what do we do here? Let's see. This comes with additional newcomers. In insects and pie. This just looks like the better selection. Even if it only comes with humans. But these two are... I'm not sure if this just means it's secret or it's not filled yet. I have trouble quite identifying that. But yeah, I think let's go with that one. And some more wood so we can build fast. And some more roots. I suppose the big question is, I usually stop in like 30 minutes to an hour. We should at least start, I feel like. No reason not to. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna finish this run. Also, I am always lowering the price on the hat a little when we're 2.5 hours in. I do wish I could do that automatically, but I still have a hat. Okay, we have Regrowth. I know, Dalton, it's such a good game, isn't it? It's even just the background music can keep me going for hours. So in the Drizzle season, we have plus 50% more goods from anything using fields. Yeah, that's true. I could do that and just disable one and enable the other when I'm like halfway through the stream. Because that I could do with a hotkey, I think. Can you disable the redeem with a hotkey? Yeah, I never know what to price it. It's like, it's annoying because if I price it too low, it's just gonna be redeemed right away. But at the same time, I feel like I want it to be redeemed at one point during the stream. So I've even considered tying it to riddles. I love riddles. I like just putting a riddle in chat and whoever solves it unlocks the hat or something like this. It's really difficult to find exactly what I want to do. I mean, that was the basic idea. That it wouldn't always be the same person, and if I set it low, you know, then it's literally gonna happen right away. I hate it. I'm sure I'll find something. I mean, once I have enough hats, maybe I will just set it to 2000. Actually, that is not a bad idea. I mean, I know someone that streams who just redeems points and then changes what he wears. That works perfectly fine. You know what? That is a good point. That is.
Your hat has arrived.
Yeah, we had a volunteer, Avantlaws. Thank you, Avantlaws. But I think that is actually not a bad idea. Let's go with that and just yeah, set it lower and just not make it once per stream. But it is time to put the hat on. And today I needed a hat that is more viceroyish. Ta-da! Am I a good viceroy? Look at that hat. I would say look at it, but here you can't see it. It's a good hat. Do I look like a viceroy now? Yes, exactly. That's what I had in mind. That's why I had the baseball cap yesterday when I actually wanted to play Void Bastards. And today I feel more like a old-timey British mayor. Okay, I'm not trying. I already feel ashamed for my brief attempt at an accent. Oh yeah, right. We now have 4 in each. Farm? I do not want to make that mistake again, but carpenter. Yeah, either farm or carpenter. I feel like carpenter. I'm leaning towards carpenter. Yeah, I'm gonna go carpenter. It's gonna be a mistake again, isn't it? Oh, completely. I mean, do you know how much force it took to actually get this to stick on the antlers? Do you have any idea? Like, it took me 5 minutes to add it to the model, but it took me 20 minutes to cut these holes. You know what this actually reminds me of? What's the deer called from... What's that anime? The Monkey Boy anime where they find the treasure, but they never found the treasure and then made like 15 years of episodes. One Piece. Thank you. What's the deer's name? I watched like 5 episodes of that, so I am I am really, really bad with their names, but yeah, you should know the dear boy then. Tony Chopper. Yes. Tony Chopper. Didn't he at some point have a hat like that? I just have this faint memory of antlers poking through. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let me bring that up. But yeah, I had this image in my head for some reason, and I suppose it is much closer to the truth than I had in my head. They do? I was not aware they do. I thought you only have tissues in the nose if you like stared at Sexy Girl or something and had nosebleeds. His newer head. Oh, you mean that round blue one? Is that a hat? Is that a hat or is that a cap? Yeah, let me bring that one up. Yeah, I'm actually not quite sure if that is a cap or a hat. It looks like somewhere in between. I suppose that's the one you mean. Because it definitely looks like a much newer style. I do need to see if I can find one that looks like that. I think that would fit. Oh, he also wears a samurai helmet. I mean, with how many episodes does One Piece have? Um... 1,049. 1,049. Is that more than Dragon Ball at this point? I mean, I think Dragon Ball, if you combine all episodes, probably still has way more, but I think Dragon Ball Z... Yeah, Dragon Ball Z only has like 300. I always thought that ran for so long. Jesus. Yeah, 1,049 is what Google says. That is insane. Yes, of course I did, Shaky. Of course I saw the Flintstones because I'm old. But blueprints. We still need blueprints. Oh, I hate the fact that we already have a lizard house when we need so many other things. Because I don't think I can pick that. I need the coal and turkey. This is much more important, and good bricks. I don't know if coal is important. Okay, well, Dalton and Rue, if either of you, what would you pick? Because I'm leaning towards the kiln, but at the same time, I feel like the bricks and the pottery would really be useful. I mean, I'm starting to give up on the training gear at this point. And yeah, with me being in a forest, I feel like wood isn't gonna be an issue anyway. So... Brickyard? Yeah, I think Brickyard is the wisest decision here. And... the better forager, the better trapper. I mean, I don't have a farm. So getting the plantation to use the farm fields, I feel like would make the most sense. Because these are just for the bigger ones, and I don't have any bigger ones until usually the first dangerous glade. So I think plantation. Yeah. Okay, well, first of all, We gotta turn this around. Everything needs to have its orientation. Now we gotta get it straight again, because I'm obsessive when it comes to that. Okay. So let's start. Up here we need a harvester. And down here we put you. And let's open this area. Yeah, that is a nice wide area. So for that we pick the woodcutter. You are here. And this is a weird area. But yeah, I suppose in this direction. And let's add houses. No, not this way. Go away. I mean, you can have the keys for my living room. We really need to vacuum the carpet because our dog is shedding. Oh, I swear, never get a husky. Never get a husky. He's shedding 24/7. We actually always make the joke. No. Jakey, no. I have a big bagless vacuum, and this dog fills that vacuum like twice a day. If I had a Roomba, that Roomba would probably just roll off a cliff. I mean, I would take a maid. Yeah, let's get a crude workstation up. I'm just gonna prepare everything as far as I can. We don't need a plantation because we don't have a field. We have the shelters and a trading post. We should have a trading post, but we have no room. That will wait. But we still need, yep, the 4 benches. Let's just place those now. And we can place those here. Perfect. Woodcutter? Shush. No, that's how I prepare. I am a very, very horizontal builder. That is why I can't stream stuff like Satisfactory. I have a Satisfactory game save that is 35 hours old. 35 hours on stream would probably take me about 2 to 3 weeks. In that save game, I just blasted the whole desert and can now build my factory on it. That is all I have done so far. I have built a foundation. That is my problem with building, with playing these games. I play them so horizontally that I feel like I would have to play 90% off stream to not bore people. And that's kind of what pulls me away from playing the games that, well, yeah, someone like s02e03 plays. Like, you know, these typical settlement builder. There's something about this game because it forces me to speed up. I have this timer down here that tells me that I can't do what I always do. And it feels oddly refreshing. But whenever I play a settlement builder, I just, yeah, refreshing. That's what we should do to Dalton. Dalton is gonna be refleshed. That's how he's turning back into an organic. Oh. This settlement specializes in training gear production. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Spices. Herb and root production is increased by +1 for every 75 biscuits. I hate both of these. What, you didn't like the idea of being refleshed? God, that sounds so bad. Okay, I'm picking this because... Yeah, I'm picking this. No, Dalton isn't lewd. No. Who would have thought that? It's not like he posted dozens of sexy lizard men. I mean, not that I argue. They were good lizard people. Yeah, let's leave one builder. Yeah. If you need lewd Limzards, they have definitely been supplied. Okay, let's work on our orders. 35 paths. Or a harvester and a stonecutter camp, doesn't matter. So... Oh, faster movement on roads and tin stone, or clay, reeds and parts. You know what, let's go with a faster movement. Not the OG Spyro. Like maybe the E629 Spyro. Like sexy Spyro, absolutely. The one that has grown up because his games came out like 20 years ago. I feel like okay saying that now, that an adult Spyro would be okay. I feel like when the games came out, Spyro porn was a bit weird. Because, I mean, essentially he was a kid. However you display him in the game lore, he's a kid. So at least now I can imagine he grew up in between. Yeah. Yeah, let's go with this. I love the +5 for clade events. And booming economy, sell 15 amber, or have a plantation, berries and plant fiber. This has more newcomers. Yeah, the path we can deliver. Which was a really dumb idea. I should not have delivered that, because that brought me to 0 impatience. I should have waited until I had one. Really? I was not aware of that. But I never played Skylanders. Yeah, let's remove one here and add one here. I mean, that is not exclusionary. Exclusionary. I mean, I know submissive dragons, and even if they are not, doesn't mean you can't. Ow! 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 Old man issues. I tried to stretch and got a cramp. Okay. Have we learned out of our mistakes? Will we buy a bakery without being able to produce flour? No, we won't. See? We learn. Yeah, that's a good question. Isn't it like Johnny 5 saying, God, I love skin? Maybe we should reflesh you then. Or rescale? Can we rescale you? Does this have the expected results? Speaking of Elijah Wood, Wilfred? Ever seen Wilfred? US version? in my opinion, one of Elijah Wood's most amazing acting jobs. Wilfred is such a weird show. And it's interesting because it, when you actually follow the storyline, it gets really deep and at the same time, really, really dark. There is an underlying storyline of like end of day cults and demons and gods, and it's really weird. I adore Wilfred, as long as you don't watch the Australian version. The Australian version, oh boy. It's always weird when you have shows that are produced in two countries and the remake of it is better than the original. I mean, take, you know, The Office. The UK and US version, you can't compare them because they're completely different. They have different humor. Sure, they are still mostly based on each other, but they feel different. But if you watch the Australian version of Being Human, or Almost Human? No, Being Human. The Almost Human? Which one was the one with the community of werewolf, ghost, and vampire? Was it Almost Human? I think Being Human was the one about the robot. No, Almost Human was the one about the robot. Yeah, Being Human was the show in which three roommates, a ghost, a vampire, and a werewolf, lived together. And the UK version, I hated the UK version. I watched the first season and it rushed. It had no patience. And then I watched the US version, and the US version took like 4 episodes just to get to the point where the UK version was after the first. And it was such a good show. The US is really good, and the same with Wilfred. The US version of Wilfred, the Australian is just boring and slow in comparison. It's so rare to say that something remade in the US was an improvement. But those two shows, yeah. Let's speed it up a bit. I always talk so much and leave the game running on 1x speed. That's exactly what I do. Yeah. I could see that. And yeah, I know. I get distracted very easily. I have the attention span of a goldfish. And I permanently have to remind myself what I do. And that's when I don't smoke weed. If you've ever seen me on Friday, you know what happens after. Because I don't work Fridays, so when my stream ends, I have a whole weekend ahead of me, so that's when recreational trucks are welcome. Yeah, latex. Latex is one of those things. I could never imagine wearing latex. Yeah, the idea of a cat suit or even a latex mask and skin tight, I can't. That is just then sweating underneath and oh god, no. But being a synth with a latex skin or something, or touching latex, yeah, that would be pretty neat. To some degree, I could even imagine putting latex on fur. It's like if you have a leather couch. If you have a leather couch and you sit onto that naked, you know what I mean. Skin and leather is uncomfortable as fuck. But if you'd be a furry, you know, fur and leather, perfect. My dogs are always happy on a leather couch. So it would be really interesting to know what it actually feels like. Okay, we got newcomers. That is really important because we need Beaverman. Because you can work. Do they get... No, they don't get anything out of the crude workstation. Because they need to work with wood directly. So I think they get a bonus in the carpenter's shop, but they don't in there. Let's see, we don't have any more harvest, so I'm gonna remove you. I'm gonna add 1 human here. And I'm gonna add 1 human here. And yeah, let's mark these for expansion now. Yeah, and I agree, Dalton. It's like, go a step further. A lot of synths stick to one body. I actually never understood that. Like, I had a synth at some point who essentially was just a brain in a computer that controlled external drones. So whatever body would fit that day, he would just pull out that body. If there was a way I could live, God, yes. Wait, today you feel like you're a female? Today you feel like you're a male? What, you feel like a dog today? Yeah, just pick up the dog body. Take a day off work, walk around the park, poop on your neighbor's doorstep, do all the things you wanted to do. Just have a different body for a day and relax. That would be pretty fun. There's fertile soil, that is nice. So here we put our plantation. Why are you idle? We have eggs. Why aren't you delivering eggs? You shouldn't be idle. Oh, because I haven't selected what I want to do. That's why you're idle. What, did I mispronounce fertile? Fertile? Fertile crowns? Fertile. F-U-R-T-L. Fertile. Yeah. I know. Fertile crowns. Look. Fertile crowns is what happened during Ferality at the Fox meetup. That was fun. Okay. Let's go with this. This is easy. 3 clades and we get tools. Always like this. Okay, what is the reasoning that you can't be a snake and a synth? Because I feel like snakes are a much easier synth than, you know, say a complicated mammal. I mean, snakes have a relatively easy body to recreate as a synth. Like, I can't come up with any reasoning why a snake can't be a synth. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure I've ever seen a hippo synth, but I welcome the OG. Ooh, so this is interesting. So either we get +1 to the export and quick deliveries. I feel like I don't need that, but +25% small farms, plantations, and herb gardens. I like that. However, as much as I wanted to go a little bit longer since we just started this, yeah, I feel like I should slowly bring it to an end because I really gotta use the restroom and I don't want to take a break for 5 minutes and then move on. Same here, Ruth. That is exactly the reason. I haven't had breakfast yet and my stomach has been crumbly. You mean 11 a.m. Dalton. You too, Rue. You have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining on in. And yeah, I'll see you next time. On yours, on mine, doesn't matter. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think let's wrap this up here real quick. Let's see. No, I don't want to kill people. I'm just gonna pick the one that allows more people in a house. Yeah, I did want to go a little bit longer, but like I said, the restroom is calling, and I don't want to let you guys wait needlessly while I use nature. So I think it's a good time to wrap it up for today. Tomorrow, as usual on Wednesdays, I'm not streaming. That's our VR day. So if you need a morning in VR chat, that is the time. That is the perfect opportunity. Other than that, I'm gonna send you out to Ryu today. Oh no, looks like Weird Romance just started. Since Ryu has been going for a while, you know what? Let's give Weird Romance a little raid. Barry, one of the most adorable beans you will have ever met. If you don't know Barry yet, they are playing Quern today. Quern, Undying Thoughts. Doesn't actually ring a bell, but it does sound like a good one. So yeah, please give Barry my love for being such an amazing being. And thank you all so much for, well, you know the deal. Thank you so much for just being here. Thank you so much for following, for watching, for spending time with me, and for making my mornings so much more entertaining. I would tip my hat if I could. I will just here act as if I do. There. No, you all stay amazing. I love you, and I'll see you on Thursday to Alba, a wilderness adventure, a wildlife adventure. Alba, a game actually gifted to me by Jakey. I'm gonna play that completely blind. I really look forward to it. It looked really cute from a very, very brief glance. And yeah, I want to jump into that blind. So that will happen on Thursday. Until then, stay adorable, and I love you all. Bye-bye.